What's me tube capital G here, got a nice competitive match for you guys to check out, or at least let's say semi-competitive. I would probably classify this as mid-tier dueling. We got Fluffals at the top, definitely a tier 2 deck I've got a lot of respect for, especially if it goes second. The OTK potential of Fluffals has really never been in question, and I believe that this guy actually runs Dark Fusion, which is actually pretty interesting tech. I do feel like it might be a little bit more too much of a good thing, like adding more icing to a cake. Obviously, Fluffals can OTK just fine without the card, but I mean, it's definitely a powerful card in the deck, and all the Frightful monsters are dark if I'm not mistaken. Then we got some artifacts down here at the bottom. It's been a while since anybody has really seen any prosperity with artifacts, although I guess people have mixed them in to other decks like ABC and Teller Knights and stuff. And this is a version that is running Galaxy Soldier and some Trap Tricks monsters. The Galaxy Soldier does have some synergy because it's level 5 and it is light as well, and it uses light monsters. So if you draw a bunch of artifacts in your opening hand, you can just pitch them, and then maybe you can summon one off Sanctum. The rank 5 plays are there, the light rank 5 plays are there, like Constellar Pallades and stuff like that. Anyways, let's go ahead and go to the match. I will say this: opening with Card of Demise and Galaxy Soldier both in your opening hand, that is no bueno, because you can set the artifacts, but you can't, if you activate Card of Demise, you can't do nothing with this Galaxy Soldier. So I believe that the artifacts are up first, and he plays Pot of Duality first, and I believe he gets another artifact monster, which is unfortunate. He does play Card of Demise, and he ends up going -1 off of the exchange. Now, I gotta say, that's pretty, that's really unfortunate, and honestly, you guys are gonna be like, oh, Cap G, really? This is a competitive match? This guy started with Pot of Duality and Card of Demise and goes -1. How did that happen? He drew into another copy of Galaxy Soldier, so he can't special summon. It's unfortunate. Anyways, Fluffals are opening up. He opens up with Bear. He gets Wings into the graveyard, immediately draws another toy vendor, then has Fluffal Dog. This is how Fluffals, honestly, a lot of times kind of just snowballs out of control if you let them get this much going. Off of the polymerization, he did change Chain, Artifact Sanctum, and there's that Dark Fusion. Now you see here that the Bagal tech is going to resolve, and I believe he's going to get Scythe on the field and Morale Tech. This could have been a really big turning point in the game. If he was able to actually keep this Scythe online, I'm not sure Fluffals would have been able to do much more this turn, as he had already committed his normal summon, and I'm pretty sure like that just would have ended it. The Fluffal Wolf, yeah, it can, or excuse me, Frightful Wolf, like it can attack multiple times, but it can't get over any of these artifact monsters, so it probably just would have been the end of its turn. However, Forbidden Chalice is here to save the day. That card is just going in everything, man. It's starting to be like the most important quick play spell in the game. He ends up using the Dark Fusion for what's it called, for Frightful Tiger, blowing up the entire field. Now honestly, I kind of thought that was the end of the duel. I was like, well, that was just kind of a one-sided beating, but Fairy Tail Snow's here to the rescue. He top decks it, attacks over Tiger. And now if you look at it, Fluffals really didn't have much of a hand, but he did get the perfect top deck. He got the copy of Frightful Fusion, which obviously will let him fusion again. But then on top of that, well, I guess really he didn't need it because he had the Bear in his hand, and he had a Wings in the graveyard. So at this point, he's still just kind of going off, and he hasn't even used the Fusion Recovery or the Frightful Fusion in his hand. This is how powerful Fluffals can be. There's that Fusion Recovery I was talking about. He activates Poly again for another Fight for Sheep. Then he goes for Kraken, but the game is not over. Bless your heart, Fairy Tail Snow. She is sticking in there, and she's like, I'm gonna get this W. He ends up top decking a copy of Trap Tricks Mermilio, and I was like, okay, that's not doing anything. And then he got Treacherous Travel, and I was like, oh my goodness, is this the comeback? Can he actually pull it off? Activates Treacherous Travel, kills 2 monsters. Excuse me, but no, guys, that is unfortunately not the comeback. That was just a little, that was me trying to debate the audience right there. It was still a pretty decent duel. I mean, you can honestly say that the artifact guy kind of got ramroded, but I feel like he fought his best. I mean, he had a dead artifact sitting there the entire time, and if you somehow can activate Card of Demise and go -1 during your first turn, you're probably not going to have the greatest time. But I feel like if the Forbidden Chalice had not been there, maybe the duel would have been a little differently, because not only would the Wolf had pretty much had no impact, but he may have been facing down a Constellar Pallades during the next turn. That card could be a little problematic for Fluffals if he summons Tiger into it, or if he summons Kraken into it. Obviously, he's going to lose those monsters for free, or maybe he would have went for something different, like Artifact Arundel, to try and, you know, negate the fusion spells altogether, or to try and mix up the Fluffal player's hand. But, you know, it doesn't happen. But anyways, just a nice competitive match, or let's say semi-competitive, because artifacts aren't the greatest in 2017, but they've seen a little bit of play. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. Thank you guys for watching as always, and subscribe if you have not already.